Fully reclining seats, tailgates you can use a saw on. You plug in your beer cooler in the back. Wait, what? No, this is a truck. Yeah, really. The new 2021 Ford F-150 has been revealed. And I'm going to tell you 5 things you need to know. We're going to go through each of the details, and I'll tell you the kind of items that stand out to me. And there's just a lot to go over, so I'm going to stop babbling. Let's get to this, all of this information right now. Okay. Oh hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. If this is your first time to the channel, welcome. On this channel, you'll find truck and SUV news, reviews, crazy stuff I do, interesting stories like this one. Hit subscribe, stick around, because it's a good time. So let's go ahead and talk about this 2021 Ford F-150. There's quite a few changes to go over. There's a lot of details. I'm going to try to make it as succinct as possible, but I'm a little excited. I'm a passionate truck guy. This is what happens. I'm sorry. I'm going to start with 5 areas. We're going to talk about exterior, talk about interior. We'll talk about powertrain. We'll talk about technology. And we'll talk about features. Now, a quick note on this is that there is no price. It's not been revealed yet. And there is no mile per gallon. That hasn't been revealed yet either. So if you're looking for how much is it, how many miles per gallon I'm going to get, well, that's not out there. Sorry. Skip. Go away somewhere else. Yeah. If you're looking for everything else, well, let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, on the exterior, we're going to look at some big changes up front. For example, we have the new headlights that are stacked. Now, I'll show you a picture of the 2019 model, and I'll show you some of the 2021 models. You can see the differences here. So we have a headlight stacked. We have a new dome hood. The bumpers now wrap around. We have the high front fenders. So the fenders are higher. They're round, but they're a little bit higher up, so you have more ground clearance there as far as when the tire articulation happens. The midsection is kind of tucked in. They're going to have 11 different grills for this midsection in the front end. And so just a lot of different grills for each different trim level. The tires, this is interesting. The tires have been extended out by 3/4 of an inch all the way around to give it more of a bold stance. And the air dam now is electronically controlled. So if you're going off-road, it actually will recess up. And then if you're going to go highway, it'll lower itself down to improve fuel economy. That's very convenient. A lot of owners have taken air dams just completely off. And now having the system do it itself and raise and lower is going to be very convenient for a lot of customers. There's active grill shutters inside behind the grill, so these will open and close, let in airflow and for aerodynamics to make the vehicle have better fuel economy. Apparently, we don't know that number yet. You're also looking at the full-length extended running boards along the side. So if you need to get in the back of the bed, like that twilight zone in the very back, where all the supplies in the bed seem to roll through and you can't really get to, and you may need to climb on a tire, yeah. This is a little kick button on the running boards. Chevy's had this for years. You click the button and it kind of slides back, and so you can hop in that bed. It's a lot easier to get. Okay, with all that said, what's the coolest feature to me about the exterior design? Well, the stacked headlights. I mean, that's the look and whatever going on. But I like the air dam. Now, yes, I do have some concerns about it in the wintertime with ice and snow and salt and dirt built up in these things. Will it actually climb up, and will it actually go down? Will it actually recess and climb, or all the words you want to say? Anyways, my concern is with that. However, I do like the idea here. The idea here is that we can have good fuel economy and get more aerodynamic with having the aerodynamic coming down, and we don't have to take our screwdriver to it or our crescent wrench and take them off when going off-roading, which is just a pain in the butt. So I think this is a really good idea. I just want to see how it's going to work in the real world. Let's talk about this tailgate. The tailgate is pretty cool. I mean, they thought some things through. Now, they still got the step that goes inside the bed, so you still put the step down they've always had. But the tailgate now has a tape measure that comes along with it. You can have a tape measure there. It's got cleats built in, so you can strap down longer items. If you have a 5-foot bed, you can take around the tailgate and strap that down with the cleats on the outside tailgate. And then there's spots for clamps, so you can clamp down some wood and cut it with a circular saw if you wanted to. I'd never do this, but if something you want to do, you have that option of doing. You know, my circular saw gets kind of slippery, and I don't want to go through my bumper with my saw. Yeah, that's not a good idea. I don't like that idea at all. They also have a fold-flat kind of storage area there on the tailgate. You can hold like a iPad. You can put a coffee cup there. You can put a pencil there. They got kind of thought through on how you would work with the tailgate, and so they made some big changes there too. Okay, let's talk about the interior. There's been a lot of changes here too. They've redesigned the interior, made a lot of changes where stuff's at, and basically that was forced because, yeah, every XLT model and above has a new 12-inch screen. Boom, done. You know, there's no additional add-ons, things like that, although I imagine the price may increase a little bit. And the XL and lower trims have an 8-inch screen. So you can do XLT and above, and I think it's an XLT premium package, then above that will have the 12-inch screen. The regular XL and XLT will have the 8-inch screen, which is still an 8-inch touchscreen. It's pretty good. There's also a standard dual glove box in the corner. You have available 12-inch digital display. So the mechanical gauges are gone. So it's all digital, and it's kind of cool. You press a button to have new off-road mode kind of graphics and things change. It's just visually kind of neat to see. So the other big news is going to be the optional interior work surface. So this is interesting. Ford went and talked to a bunch of customers, and they figured out that they were putting their own contraptions to hold their laptop in their trucks. Like they were building stuff, they were buying aftermarket stuff. So they thought, hey, we can help you guys out with that. So they can make a flat loading surface so you can come over from the center console and lay that flat and put your laptop there. However, the shifter was in the way. So hey, they decided to make a stowable shifter. So you can press a button, the shifter folds flat, and then you take this piece of plastic over and boom, you put your laptop on it, and you have a flat surface to work from. Now that's cool and all, but I do wonder why they don't just do a column shifter. I know I've driven a couple of Fords of lower trim levels that have a column shifter in there, and you wouldn't have to do anything with a console shifter. You wouldn't have to fold it down at all, which I'm sure it works fine, but it just makes me a little nervous folding down my shifter. However, I can see where people still like the console shifter. Ford says the fan's still a big fan of the console shifter, so there you go. That's Ford's solution. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the marketplace. The other big news is their big max reclining front seat. So this is a 180-degree reclining seat. Reminds you of the long-distance travel seats in airplanes, where you can actually press a button and it goes 180 degrees flat, and then the upper back support moves up to meet your lower back. So you have basically a flat surface to take a nap in, because a lot of guys do. They go out hunting or go out whatever, and they recline their seat and they take a nap. Now this is only available, though, on King Ranch, Platinum, and Limited. So that's the top trim level. So apparently the rich guys who buy those trucks can't afford the hotel rooms. Okay, maybe not. Maybe they just like sleeping in their trucks, but it does kind of make you wonder. Another thing is in the rear, below the seats, they have a lockable fold flat storage. That way you can have some fishing rods, guns, things in the back there, and you can lock it. This is a very popular aftermarket thing, but Ford's offering it inside their truck. All right, let's talk powertrains. What's new in 2021? Well, it's a power boost. All right, wait, time out. Another fancy marketing term? Yes, it is. Let me slow down for a second. So they're still going to offer the traditional engines they have offered. The 3.3 is not going anywhere. The 3.5 liter EcoBoost is not going anywhere. The 2.7 EcoBoost is not going anywhere. The 5.0 liter Coyote is not going anywhere. And the 3.0 liter diesel is not going anywhere. Now, do I know stats and horsepower and torque and mile per gallon and all that kind of stuff on these? No, I do not. However, I do know, and what they made a big deal about, is that the new Power Boost is their new hybrid powertrain. So this is going to take the 3.5 liter V6 EcoBoost, again, made it to a 1.5 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery. I'm getting better at this stuff. And it's going to have made it to a 35 kilowatt or 47 horsepower electric motor. The idea is it's going to get 700 miles of range on a single tank of gas, and it's going to be able to tow 12,000 pounds with a 10-speed automatic transmission. That's going to be the hybrid. And there's going to be more to this hybrid in that you don't compromise any room in the cabin. The battery's in the bed, and it can handle extreme cold and heavy-duty towing, and it's got regenerative braking, so it'll recharge the battery as you go. Also, there's an onboard generator. Yep, there's a generator built into the truck now, and it's the kilowatt hours of how much generator power is put out varies on different powertrains, but on the hybrid, you get the most capability. So let me make sure I get the stats right. On the Power Boost, the hybrid version, you have a 2.4 kilowatt onboard generator, or you can get an optional 7.2 kilowatt onboard generator. So this means you can run power tools. They said like a cement mixer. They said like refrigerator, TVs, tailgating. You just plug it right in. It's got a 110 volt adapter in the back. Now, or 120 volt, 120 volt or 240 volt 30 amp outlet. The gas engines, it's optional in the gas engines, and you get a 2.0 kilowatt onboard generator. Okay, let's talk technology. There's a couple technology things that will make a difference to a lot of customers. First of all, you can use the Ford Pass app, and you can change your lighting. Yeah, this is really interesting. They have zone lighting. So zone lighting, you can illuminate different parts outside the cabin and also illuminate the tailgate. So they've moved those lights to the tailgate as well, so you can do the bed and tailgate. So if you're working like late at night, if you're hauling in a deer, or if you're working on a job site, you can light up your tailgate and light up your work area, and you can control that with the Ford Pass where the lights are going. So it's really kind of cool. They have a new Sync 4 system that's supposed to be even faster and better and all the things about it. But it looks like it's all done inside Ford. They've got rid of all the external consultants, and they really spent some time really delving in what they needed to do and how they made the system the best they can. And this Sync 4 system is pretty cool. It'll do over-the-air updates. So there's no driving a dealer and having to plug in or get an SD card to update the maps, that kind of stuff. You're just going to over-the-air come through like your cell phone does. Like all of a sudden you wake up and there's a new update. And you really wanted to do, check your email, but no, you got to do a new update. Yeah, over-the-air. And they're also going to do wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto if you're into that stuff. What's interesting is Ford's also offering their 911. A couple quick things also in the technology is that Ford is doing wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, and they're offering their 911 assistance for free. Yeah, your phone will tell you if your trailer's being stolen, it'll tell you if the truck's being stolen, and if you need help, you just press the 911 button and get help right away. So while other brands, GM, offer systems like this that you have to pay for, like OnStar, this is going to be a great system from Ford that you don't have to pay anything for. And that's probably the best part about this. It's finally a technology you don't have to pay extra for each month to drive your vehicle. It's just insane. You're spending $50,000 and you got to pay $20 a month to have the service. And finally, one of the most exciting things that people are going to freak out about is Ford is now offering a driver assist, which means that you basically can be autopilot, co-pilot. I hate to say driverless kind of systems, but it's not really autopilot either. You can sit in the cabin, right? And you can have a soda and you can have a gum in the other hand, and you can drive like this. It's coming. Now it's going to use like eyesight to make sure you're watching the road. You're not like reading a book or something or shaving or checking your hairs or whatever you're doing. So it's to make sure your eyes on the road. And the other interesting part with this, and one thing is that I just talked about how cool it was they offered the 911 for free. Well, this one's not for free. Nope. All the new 2021 trucks are going to come with the hardware to do this. The summer of next year, you can pay for the software to be able to get the co-driver assist to be able to drive like this. So basically, you can be angry old man driving on the road. Okay, and finally, let's recap the big features because I've kind of talked about different places, but I'll make sure that we just succinctly talk about these. So around the back, you're going to have the tailgate that has the cleats in it, that has the tie-downs places, and you have the tape measure. So you can tell your buddies how big that fish actually was when you caught it. You have bragging rights there. You can take a photo of it. It's pretty cool. We have zone lighting. We have wireless CarPlay. We have the new Ford Pass for free, 911. And we have the truck can drive itself because I can sit back in the truck. Coming when you buy the software. Now, one feature I didn't talk a whole lot about is we do have the new reversed backup trailer assist. So you can to go ahead and launch that boat like a boss. And we have the plug-in for the generator on board. They're plugged in. Kind of nice. Now we also have the stowable shifter, so we can have that flat surface to put our laptop down on. That's a pretty interesting new feature. We have the sleeping seats, so you can recline those seats after a long night at the fire pit and take a nap or sleep in the morning or wake up to their deer stand on a nice seat. And finally, it's got to be the hybrid powertrain. We got this new powertrain that's supposed to be more powerful than any other half-ton out there, including horsepower and torque, and 700 miles of range and towing 12,000 pounds. Questions I have for this truck, and I can't wait to drive it because I have so many questions, is that how long is the onboard generator going to work? How long can I run power tools? Where does it get power from? I want to know about this exciting recline, the seat, if I can sleep in it, and I want to know how much it's going to be because that seems like it's kind of pricey. I want to know if the air dam works in the wintertime. That's a great question. I want to know if it gets salt and stuff in there, if it works. That's a big question I have. I'm kind of curious with the look of it with these dual headlamps. Maybe I'll love it, maybe I won't. I'm curious what you guys think there too. And I'll be curious on the power boost, how far I can get 700 miles of range. It's interesting, I'm driving in a Ram truck right now that has EcoDiesel that gets 782 miles of range, or 800 or whatever the press release said. So a hybrid gets less than a diesel? Interesting. And I'm really curious to see this zone lighting and how the tailgate is set up. Note the Ford, I'm deer hunting this year in Wyoming, and man, it worked out pretty handy, especially twilight hunting. Letting them know. So there's my thoughts on the 2021 Ford F-150 and the different features. Again, no pricing, no idea on trim levels, no idea on options, no idea on mile per gallon, and I think they said it's available this fall. Yep, available this fall. That's all I know, folks. That's it. Yeah. So, hey, make sure to check out this other video if you're interested in more Ford stuff because it's right over there. It's pretty interesting stuff. Also, check the website down below because it's really cool there, too. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road.